Stop, put your wallet away. If you're even glancing at the current Mac Studio or considering a high-spec Mac Pro in early 2026, you are about to make a multi-$1,000 mistake. Apple just made a move so quiet yet so calculated that it confirms everything the leaks have been whispering. They skipped the M for Ultra entirely. This isn't a supply chain hiccup, it's a tactical retreat to prepare for the single biggest architectural shift in the history of Apple Silicon. The trap is set. Right now, the desktop lineup is in a state of chaos. You have an M for Max MacBook Pro laptop that is currently outperforming M to Ultra Mac Studios that cost 3 times as much. Imagine paying $7,000 for a desktop tower that gets beaten by a machine you can carry in a backpack. Apple knows this is a disaster for their Pro branding, and the M5 Mac Studio is the massive correction we've been waiting for. Today, I'm showing you exactly how to avoid the M to buying trap. Why now? Because the breadcrumbs are everywhere. Shipping delays for high-end studio configurations are hitting for 2 to 6 weeks, a classic sign of inventory clearing. More importantly, hidden within the iOS 26.3 and macOS Tahoe release candidates are direct references to two new silicon identifiers, M5 Max DT and M5 Ultra DT. The DT stands for desktop. Apple is no longer just putting iPad chips into boxes, they are bifurcating the development for a true professional powerhouse. We have evidence of a packaging overhaul built on TSMC's SoIC-MH technology. This isn't just a 10% clock speed bump. This is a 2.5D chiplet-based architecture that fundamentally changes how the brain of this machine communicates with its limbs. Since the M1, Apple has used a monolithic approach or fused two chips together using ultrafusion. It worked, but it was rigid. If you wanted more GPU power, you had to buy the CPU cores you didn't need. The M5 changes the rules of the game. The 2026 M5 leaks suggest a radical shift, separate CPU and GPU blocks. By moving to a modular layout, Apple can finally offer more tailored configurations. Imagine a Mac Studio with a base CPU but a maxed-out GPU for 3D artists, or vice versa for developers compiling millions of lines of code. This also fixes the scaling tax. Historically, the Ultra chips only saw a 30% gain in real-world apps because the two halves of the chip were talking through a narrow, high-latency bridge. The M5 Ultra uses new hybrid bonding direct copper-to-copper connections to reduce latency to near zero. This is how the Ultra finally becomes twice as fast as the Max, not just twice as expensive. For years, professionals complained that the Ultra didn't scale linearly in Final Cut or Premiere Pro. This architecture is designed to make the OS see one giant pool of resources, rather than two separate chips fighting for priority. It's the Ultra experience we were promised years ago. But you can't have a new studio without a new screen. The current studio display is 4 years old, 60 Hz, and honestly, a bit of an insult for $2,000 in 2026. The leaks for the Studio Display 2 are incredible. We are looking at a move to 90 Hz. Why not 120 Hz? Because Apple wants to protect the Pro Display XDR, but 90 Hz is the sweet spot for smooth scrolling without massive power draw. It finally brings a promotion feel to the desktop without the Pro Display price tag. The biggest upgrade to the monitor is the backlighting. We are finally moving to mini LED. Deep blacks, 1000 nits of HDR brightness, and the A19 chip inside to handle a new 12MP center stage camera. It's the monitor the original should have been. No more grayish blacks when editing late at night. Plus, the A19 silicon inside will allow for advanced noise cancellation and spatial audio features that don't tax the main Mac Studio processor. It's a smart display in every sense. The M5 is being called the AI monster internally. With the jump to a next-gen GPU featuring a dedicated neural accelerator in every core, on-device large language models LLMs will run up to 3.5x faster than the M4. This is essential for the 2026 version of Apple Intelligence, which moves away from the cloud and onto your local desk. If you are a developer training models or a creator using AI-assisted rotoscoping, The M5 is going to save you hours of rendering time every week. If you are a creative professional using AI video enhancement or 3D rendering in Blender, the M5 Ultra is predicted to crack the 250,000 point mark in Geekbench GPU tests. That is a level of power previously reserved for dual 4090 PC rigs that pull 1000 watts from the wall. The Mac Studio will do it while staying whisper quiet. The thermal design has been tweaked with larger copper heatsinks to ensure that the M5 doesn't throttle during long 8K exports or heavy 3D simulation work. Memory prices are climbing, but Apple is expected to raise the base RAM to 32 GB to accommodate the AI overhead. We're also seeing leaks of faster NAND flash modules, fixing the slow base SSD complaints from previous years. For the Ultra models, 128 GB of unified memory could become the new standard for the mid-tier. This is vital for those working with massive datasets or complex orchestral libraries, where every gigabyte of bandwidth counts toward a seamless workflow. Pricing? Expect the $1,999 entry point to hold for the Macs, as Apple needs to keep the entry-level professional market. However, the Ultra might see a slight tariff-adjusted bump to $4,199 due to the complexity of the new chiplet packaging. While it's a steep price, the value proposition is much clearer than the current Mac Pro. Unless you need specific PCIe expansion cards, the Studio remains the logical flagship for 95% of users. It's the most power per square inch on the market. If you're on an M1 Ultra, this is your upgrade moment. The architectural jump is massive. If you're on an M2 or M3, wait for the independent benchmarks. The biggest mistake you can make is buying an M2 Ultra today. You're paying 2026 prices for 2023 tech. Wait for the March 4th event. Let the older models drop in price, or grab the M5 and be future-proof for the next 5 years. Don't fall for the trap of buying new old stock just because it's sitting on a shelf today. Patience wins every time in the tech world. Apple is trying to fix a messy desktop story, and the M5 Mac Studio is the protagonist. Are you waiting for the M5 Ultra? Or has the M for Max laptop already won you over? It's a tough choice, but the performance benchmarks we're seeing make the wait worth it. Thanks for watching. If you found this leak breakdown helpful, hit the subscribe button and the bell icon so you don't miss our live coverage of the March event. See you in the next one.